welcome to our brand new Tuesday Newsday. Today we're talking about Neil Blomkamp's revolutionary new project, Oats Studio.
So we have been Tuesday Newsdaying it up for a while here, and we felt like it was time to switch it up a bit. More information on less stories, keeping our news on topic and in-depth. Let us know what you think in the comments. We really want to bring something that adds value to your experience. So would love some feedback.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
I am Chappie.
We may have been the only fans of Neil Blomkamp's Chappie when it came out a couple of years ago because...
South African and...
cutest robot ever. And that's without mentioning the neon guns and the dystopian police state and Wolverine with its slightly odd mullet and Die Antwoord, a South African band, as the main characters. And under all of that, a commentary about how innocence is shaped by its environment and about what it means to be human and to be conscious.
Yeah, unfortunately not everyone saw it that way. It was not well received. Despite the commitment to bringing his vision to reality and loving the film that he created, Neil Blomkamp's Chappie didn't connect with its audience in the way that it was intended to.
And that may be a good place to start this story, because we know that news doesn't all happen in the same week that it breaks. After Chappie, Neil Blomkamp was left to reevaluate.
He reevaluated. He said, I think that I completely came out of making the right choice, which is that I'm just going to do stuff that I love. And that could actually lead to me living in the gutter. I mean, it could literally lead to complete and utter collapse. But I would rather live in a dumpster, I think, being creatively honest and true to myself than not. So I think overall the result of Chappie crystallized or congealed ideas in my mind in a good way.
Yeah, and on that ethos, Oats Studio was born. It's about building those connections before building a whole feature film. And he describes his business model as throwing money on a fire. This is a new direction for filmmaking, and it's been in the works for a couple of years now, although we only recently heard about it, but we're very excited.
Yep. We mentioned this experimental film studio a couple of weeks back when we knew very little. There was a website that explained nothing and a trailer that told us to expect experimental shorts.
Whatever
and
that
it left
means.
us with a lot of blanks to fill in. But at E3's Elysuim, Neil Blomkamp did an interview explaining everything and releasing the first part of the first volume, Rakka.
So let's talk about Rakka. If you haven't seen it yet, you should definitely check it out. We'll put a link below. Blomkamp says, for a really long time I wanted to do an unrelenting alien invasion story that would feel like it was punishing to the audience. And then I had this other thing in the back of my mind, which was a science fiction inverted version of an occupying force in a country, like the Germans in France, or the way, say, an Iraqi family would view Americans in the streets in 2006. And I wanted a sci-fi version of that, where it sort of flips the viewer's point of view. And political commentary using science fiction is something that we know Neil can do really well. District 9, Elysuim and Chappie are brilliant examples of his thoughtful social commentaries, highlighting the problems that we recognise, but distanced by extreme dystopian sci-fi landscapes.
The invading aliens, the Rakka, are called the Plume. Sounds like plume. They also have a strange nanotech fluid that morphs into weapons, spaceships, breathing apparatus, and the structure that they live in. It is always active and looks amazing. They also have the power of mind control over the humans. Their structures produce methane, changing the delicate balance of our planet and terraforming it to suit their invading aliens.
The resistance is led by Sigourney Weaver. Blomkamp explains how that happens. When it became pretty evident that Alien wasn't going to happen with Sigourney, or that Alien for me wasn't going to happen at all, she asked me what I was up to, so I sent her the Rakka script, just as an example of what we were doing at Oats, and she wrote back, I love this, I want to play Jasper. Even though the character was male and already cast, but you can't really turn down Sigourney. So she plays Jasper, the leader of the rebellion in the fight for the survival of mankind.
That poor dude. That was going to be her.
I know, apparently he tried to convince Neil that he should keep the job.
That's crazy. They've developed a way to block the Plume's mind control powers, but the humans that have been captured have been experimented on. The few that survived are deformed and their bodies are modified with alien technology, but with this, their victims gain a gift, the ability to see the world as the Plume do.
Rakka has several parts. The first lays out the landscape of this post-apocalyptic world, and the others introduce us to several characters. At the end of the 20-minute short, we see a mysterious angelic being.
Mysterious.
Mysterious.
Blomkamp has a complete world and script for Rakka. which could become a feature film, or the story could be continued as a series of shorts. He says, in a further story, the way I want to go, the higher alien power begins to offer humans a way out of the situation they're in. But the top species will not take on the Clume aliens, not because they can't beat them, but because they're almost too evolved for that. So what I wanted to do was play with the ideas that there's something immensely lacking with the Clume. And what they're trying to do, the reason they're terraforming is Earth, is because they just happen to be staying there for a long time. But Earth isn't the goal. The goal is to rip humans apart and understand what makes them be able to communicate with the higher species.
Ooh.
It's almost like the higher species to them is God, and they're being rejected by their God, and humans haven't. So there's something in humanity that gives them the right to do the right to do this to the higher species. And so the whole point of the body horror in this scenario is because they don't understand what makes us who we are, and why they have the ability to do that. Why are we so different from them? That's what leads to experimentation and everything that happens to the character of Emir so far.
Rakka is the first short in Volume 1. It has 3 other pieces, Saigon, Zygote and Lima, and these will be released over the next month, 1 each week. Each shows a different possible world for us to explore.
There are also much shorter comedy skits that will be released between them. Blomkamp says, I think Oats in general is a place where I have the ability to go from comedy to fantasy to science fiction to horror. I can basically just skip around wherever I want to go. So far we can only imagine what the first month will look like after seeing Rakka. We have high expectations. All of Oats Studios pieces will be available online for free, with revenue generated through clicks and donations.
We're not sure if there will be links between the 4 main worlds in Volume 1, but it sounds like each is a project that can stand alone, and it will be up to the public to decide which should be developed further, if any, and how. They will all be available to watch for free on YouTube, Steam, and on the Oats Studios website, and there will also be an option to buy DLC on Steam, and this is where it gets super exciting.
What kind of DLC do you get with a short film, I hear you wondering?
That's what I was wondering.
Well, for $3.99 there's video files, concept art, 3D print file, so you can print your own very little Clume model. Eventually you should be able to access raw footage, soundtracks, behind the scenes visual effects. The scripts apparently have caused some legal issues, so have been taken down for now. But apparently there's plans to upload them again in the future when these issues are resolved. The DLC are sold for each short, so the Rakka DLC pack has all resources related to Rakka.
The plan is that people will be able to use all of the parts that are created when making these shorts, and they will be able to be repurposed to make new films, games or artwork, or to improve on the shorts that they've already made if you think you're more talented. Blomkamp also welcomes a dialogue about the direction of his films and hopes filmmakers, writers and artists will take the footage or the characters and expand on his stories.
This is such a new concept and flies in the face of the way Hollywood does things. With all of its restrictions and demands, it's sometimes a miracle that creativity survives the movie machine sometimes.
Yeah, there are so many possibilities here, but it is a project that succeeds or fails on the response of the fans. So the question is, what are the fans saying, Ruben?
Well, what they're saying is the response online is very positive. The Oats Studios forum is filling up with fan art, scripts, interesting projects that has shared some common ground, and people are interested in working with or supporting this project from all over the world. We are waiting for the next installment of Volume 1. That should be here any minute now. And Neil Blomkamp seems to be very busy promoting and explaining the project. The forum is definitely worth reading.
Yeah. If you're interested in supporting Oats Studios, then we will post links to them on Steam and YouTube. And if you'd like to support us, then here's a link to our Patreon page. Ta-da! We really appreciate our amazing Patreon people. They are awesome and make all of this possible.
If this does really well, we could possibly get a District 10 finally.
That would be really cool.
I love District 9.
I would love
amazing.
That. Yeah.
Maybe we'll see them go into space, or maybe they'll come back with like friends.
Yeah.
They're more angry at us. Yeah.
That would be cool.
But yeah, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed this, and look out for our film review on Friday.
Wait, do your South African voice again, because that was really cool.
Thank you, Ruby Tuesdays, for watching this. This is really fun. I'm so glad you came. And this is not how Neil Blomkamp sounds, because he has a Canadian accent and an American accent. Canadian, eh? Yeah. You're one big beaver, eh?
That was good.
Yeah. Bye.